Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Hare Krishna Vindhya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. And wish you everyone a very happy Krishna Consciousness New Year. Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can please start.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamuriraye. Nasta Prayeshu Apareshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Nasteki. Today we are reading from Canto 10, Chapter 7, The Killing of the Demon, Trinavarta. Text 1 through 17. Text 1 and 2. King Parikshit said, My lord, Sukadev Goswami, all the various activities exhibited by the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are certainly pleasing to the ear and to the mind. Simply by one's hearing of these activities, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanish. Generally, we are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord, but Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that they are automatically pleasing to the mind and ear. Thus, one's attachment for hearing about material things, which is the root cause of material existence, vanishes, and one gradually develops devotional service to the Supreme Lord, attachment for Him, and friendship with devotees who give us the contribution of Krishna consciousness. If you think it fit, kindly speak about those activities of the Lord. Text 3. Please describe those pastimes of Krishna, the Supreme Personality, who appeared on this planet Earth, imitating a human child and performing wonderful activities like killing Putana. Text 4. Sukadev Goswami said, when Mother Yashoda's baby was slanting his body to attempt to rise and turn around, this attempt was observed by a Vedic ceremony. In such a ceremony, called Uttana, which is performed when a child is due to leave the house for the first time, the child is properly bathed. Just after Krishna turned 3 months old, Mother Yashoda celebrated this ceremony with other women of the neighborhood. On that day, there was a conjunction of the moon with the constellation Rohini. As the Brahmanas, joined by chanting Vedic hymns and professional musicians, also took part, this great ceremony was observed by Mother Yashoda. Text 5. After completing the bathing ceremony for the child, Mother Yashoda received the Brahmanas by worshipping them with proper respect and giving them ample food grains and other eatables, clothing, desirable cows, and garlands. The Brahmanas properly chanted Vedic hymns to observe the auspicious ceremony. And when they finished, and Mother Yashoda saw that the child felt sleepy, she lay down on the bed with the child until he was peacefully asleep. Text 6. The liberal Mother Yashoda, absorbed in celebrating the Uttana ceremony, was busy receiving guests, worshipping them with all respect and offering them clothing, cows, garlands, and grains. Thus, she could not hear the child crying for his mother. At that time, the child Krishna, demanding to drink the milk of his mother's breast, angrily threw his legs upward. Text 7. Lord Sri Krishna was lying down underneath the handcart in one corner of the courtyard, and although his little legs were as soft as leaves, when he struck the cart with his legs, it turned over violently and collapsed. The wheels separated from the axle, the hubs and spokes fell apart, and the pole of the handcart broke. On the cart, there were many little utensils made of various metals, and all of them scattered hither and thither. Text 8. When Mother Yashoda and the other ladies who assembled for the Uttana's festival, and all the men, headed by Nanda Maharaja, saw the wonderful situation, they began to wonder how the handcart had collapsed by itself. They began to wander here and there, trying to find the cause, but were unable to do so. Text 9. The assembled cowherd men and ladies began to contemplate how this thing had happened. Is it the work of some demon or evil planet? They asked. At that time, the small children present asserted that the cart had been kicked apart by the baby Krishna. As soon as the crying baby had kicked the cart's wheel, the cart had collapsed. There was no doubt about it. Text 10. The assembled gopis and gopas, unaware that Krishna is always unlimited, could not believe that baby Krishna had such inconceivable power. They could not believe the statements of the children, and therefore they neglected these statements as being childish talk. Text 11. Thinking that some bad planet had attacked Krishna, Mother Yashoda picked up the crying child and allowed him to suck a breast. Then she called for experienced brahmanas to chant Vedic hymns and perform an auspicious ritualistic ceremony. Text 12. After the strong, stout cowherd men assembled the pots and paraphernalia on the handcart and set it up as before, the brahmanas performed a ritualistic ceremony with a fire sacrifice to appease the bad planet, and then, with rice grains, kusha, water, and curd, they worshipped the Supreme Lord. Text 13 through 15. When brahmanas are free from envy, untruthfulness, unnecessary pride, grudges, disturbance by the opulence of others, and false prestige, their blessings never go in vain. Considering this, Nanda Maharaja soberly took Krishna on his lap and invited such truthful brahmanas to perform a ritualistic ceremony according to the holy hymns of the Samveda, Rig Veda, and Yajurveda. Then, while the hymns were being chanted, he bathed the child with water mixed with pure herbs, and after performing a fire ceremony, he sumptuously fed all the brahmanas with first-class grains and other food. Text 16. Nanda Maharaja, for the sake of the affluence of his own son Krishna, gave the brahmanas cows fully decorated with garments, flowers, flower garlands, and gold necklaces. These cows, fully qualified to give ample milk, were given to the brahmanas in charity, and the brahmanas accepted them and bestowed blessings upon the whole family, and especially upon Krishna. Text 17. The brahmanas, who were completely expert in chanting the Vedic hymns, were all yogis fully equipped with mystic powers. Whatever blessings they spoke were certainly never fruitless. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining for today's Bhagavatam session. I wish you all a happy Krishna conscious New Year. And thank you Radharani Mataji for coordinating this call. Thank you Sundarananda Prabhu for giving this opportunity to share few points from Srila Prabhupada's purport. Also thank you Vidya Mataji for reading today's Bhagavatam section slokas translation. So today we are in a new chapter, chapter 7, the killing of the demon Trinavrata. So we'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachatta Deshtarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are in the section of Krishna's childhood pastimes, which are very wonderful and attractive. In the last chapter, we saw how Krishna liberated Putana. So, though she came with the intent of killing Supreme Lord Krishna, by giving the poisonous milk. But Krishna very mercifully killed Putana. Of course, he liberated her, and he gave the position of a motherly in the spiritual world. So such a compassion of Supreme Lord Krishna. And last chapter ended saying that if a person who is has this negative things and who came with an intent to kill Krishna, so if she got liberated, then what to speak of the devotees who are coming towards Supreme Lord Krishna and serving him with a positive way, like in Anukulyana Krishna Anusilanam. So then what to speak of those people's good fortune. So, and in this chapter, this new chapter, Krishna's childhood pastimes are continued. So in this chapter we will hear three wonderful pastimes. So in today's section we will hear Shakata Bhanjana, so killing the Sakatasura, and then the next two sections we will hit killing the Trunavrata, and also Krishna uh, showing the entire universe within his mouth to Mother Yashoda. So those two pastimes we'll hear also. So today we'll go through the slokas 1 to 17. So in the first two slokas, so we see that Parikshit Maharaj is mentioning that so Krishna exhibits wonderful activities in different incarnations. They're all very pleasing to the ear and mind. And also here the benefit of hearing this Krishna Katha is here mentioned, that just simply hearing, so all our dirty things will go away. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. So just by hearing, all our abhadras will go away. But unfortunately, the condition living entity in this material world, they are reluctant to hear about the activities of Supreme Lord because of high material fever or attachment to the material things. But the wonderful thing here is Krishna's childhood activities are very attractive, so automatically pleasing to the mind here. So when one hears these things, so what happens? All our interest with the material things will go away, because that's a root cause, and then gradually we'll develop attachment to the Supreme Lord and also attachment to the devotees. So here Parikshit Maharaj is requesting Sukadeva Goswami to narrate all other Krishna's pastimes. So far he heard only killing Putana or liberating Putana, but now he wanted to hear more of Krishna's childhood pastimes. And Prabhupada also mentions in the purport the reason the conditioned living entity in this material world is Krishna Bhairmukha. So we are away from Krishna. So we turned away from Krishna Bhairmukha. Bhoga Vanchakare. So we want to enjoy this material world or enjoy independent of Krishna. So when one is in that kind of situation, then Nikatastamaya Tare Japatiya Dhare. So when immediately Maya will capture and she will put into this material world. So since we have so many desires to enjoy independent of Krishna, so Krishna also mercifully allows us, and we will come into this material world and go through the different types of bodies, because we wanted to enjoy different type of things as we have those kind of desires. So as Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita sloka also, Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudani Mayaya. So due to having many desires to enjoy independent of Krishna, we take different types of bodies. And as soon as we take this material grass body, what happens? Asanna apiklesha asadeha. So we'll go through so many challenges, so many tribulations, so many problems, so many difficulties. So adhyatmika, adi bhautika, adi daivika, or janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. So all these challenges will go away. And Prabhupada mentions that that is the root cause of all our suffering. So if an intelligent person understands that these are all suffering, and then he can question about how we can get out of from this. So that can be done. Prabhupada says that by revival of our Krishna consciousness. So if we have Krishna consciousness, we have to revive that Krishna consciousness. So in fact, Srila presented all this Vedic literature for this purpose only. The intent is to revive our Krishna consciousness. So that's why here Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Srinvatam Swakata Krishna. So if we hear this Krishna Katha, then all our abhadras will go away, our Krishna consciousness will be revived, then our um, troubles will go away. And here Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Prabhupada also mentions the purport that Krishna has unlimited incarnations, right? Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, Lord Ramachandra, like that. So there, and also he, in all those incarnations, they performed many wonderful activities. But obviously, as a Baddha Jiva, we don't have a attraction to these sweet nectarian, I'm talking to myself, to these sweet nectarian pastimes. We don't have a interest to listen this Krishna Katha. Like it's Prabhupada many times gives this example, am I right? The Jandi's person. So when he was given this sweet sugarcane juice, he will not feel it as a sweet. He will feel it as a bitter because of that jaundice. So, but to cure that jaundice is to drink that sugarcane juice, which is sweet. So slowly, slowly, so his jaundice will be reduced. So it will be gone, and then he will experience that sweetness of the sugarcane juice. So similarly, so currently I am in a high material fever. So I have a great attachment or interest for the sense gratification, personal sense gratification. So due to that I am going through problems. So if we listen this Krishna Katha, push ourselves, at least as this new year started. So if we can take some kind of resolution that so even if we can utilize 1 minute that we are not currently utilizing it for Krishna consciousness, if we can turn that into Krishna consciousness, then that will be very beneficial. Then our material fever will go little down, so then we will come closer to Krishna. So here Parikshit Maharaj is telling that all these Krishna's wonderful childhood pastimes are very attractive, like killing Putana, Trinavrata, Sakatasura, all these things. And Prabhupada mentions that Krishna performing all these wonderful pastimes one after another. So he is keeping Mother Yashoda or all the inhabitants of Raja in great astonishment. So, and Prabhupada also stressing that so one should hear these pastimes from a pure, from the devotees. Of course, here Parikshit Maharaj is requesting Sukadeva Goswami to speak, to narrate, because Sukadeva Goswami is a pure devotee, and Parikshit Maharaj is interested in listening all this Krishna Katha from the mouth of from the devotees. So similarly, if we also can hear from the mouth of all the Vaishnavas, so then we will develop a taste for listening Krishna Katha and attachment to the Vaishnavas. So that's what here Parikshit Maharaj is mentioning. And the next sloka we see that Parikshit Maharaj is requesting to describe other pastimes which happened on this earth planet, because Krishna appeared 5000 years back on this earth planet. So Parikshit Maharaj is requesting to describe all these wonderful activities like killing Putana, like that. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that so Krishna incarnates at different times in different planets and also in different universes. And according to the nature of those places, Krishna performs his unlimited potency. So in this earth planet, Krishna killing Putana while he is a very small baby, so is extremely wonderful for the inhabitants of this planet. But it might not be in the higher planetary system people. So if Krishna appears on those planets, then he will perform more wonderful activities so that it will also amaze them. So wherever Krishna appears, so he will perform all these wonderful activities. Even the inhabitants of those planets will also be amazed, will be attractive. So in the next sloka, so Sukadeva Goswami here is narrating the other pastimes of, he started narrating other pastimes of baby Krishna's wonderful activities. So one of them is Shakata Bhanjana, or killing the Sakatasura. So that is started here. So here Mother Yashoda, Yashoda's baby, like Krishna. So when he was slanting his body to attempt to rise and turn around, so this is also observed as a Vedic ceremony. So such a joyful occasion. It's called Utthana. So where uh, performed when the child is due to leave the house for the first time. So, and in that ceremony, the child is properly bathed, and then um, the brahmanas are invited, and they will chant the Vedic hymns. So, all these things, and Mother Yashoda is observing this great ceremony. So, it's a joyful occasion. And Prabhupada mentions that in the Vedic civilization, so the childbirth is not at all a burden. So in fact, it is a jubilation. So as we see here that as the child grows, the parents will be more jubilant. So they will perform all these ceremonies and experience the happiness. So the child is the source of a jubilation, not a burden like that. So all these ceremonies are also recommended. Prabhupada mentions that how this Utthana ceremony is performed when a baby turns 3 months. So similarly, even when baby is in the womb of a mother, also there are some ceremonies are that performed. So like there is a ceremony called Swada Bhakshana. So when the baby entered into the womb of mother after 3 months, so or 7 months, this ceremony is performed, where the mother observes by eating with neighboring children, like that. Of course, there is another ceremony before the birth itself. So before the baby entering into the womb of the mother, so both the husband and wife, they perform this Garbhadana Samskara. So, Prabhupada mentioning that so all these ceremonies gives a joy to the parents. So he's stressing that the Vedic civilization will consider the childbirth as a joyful thing, but not a burden like that, because he is comparing with the modern civilization, where some of the husband and wife, the parents, they are not interested in getting child because they feel that it is a botheration or it is a burden like that. So in fact, those kind of people, so if they are some or other they got pregnanted, so sometimes they go into a very extreme situation also, where they don't like to have the baby, so they will kill also, or they go for abortion like that. So Prabhupada is comparing the Vedic civilization and modern civilization, saying that how this modern civilization is very fallen from the starting of the Kali Yuga. So though they are claiming it as a civilized, but they are very fallen condition. So in fact, Prabhupada says that it's not a civilization; it's a two-legged animals assembly like that. So, but the Vedic civilization, we see that how joyful like that. And in the next sloka, so we see that Mother Yashoda received the Brahmanas, worshipped them, and gave the charities. And then Brahmanas also chanted Vedic hymns. And then Mother Yashoda saw that baby Krishna felt sleepy. So she lay down on the bed with the child until he was peacefully asleep. So this is the generally parents does, either father and mother, when the baby is feeling sleepy, then they don't just keep the baby on the bed and come, because the baby will feel uncomfortable and he will not uh, sleep properly like that. So either father and mother will sleep with the baby until he was comfortably sleeping or peacefully asleep like that. And in the next sloka, uh, we see that Mother Yashoda, she is observed after keeping the baby into a sleep condition. So she is observed in the celebrating Utthana ceremony. So she woke up, I mean, she got up from the bed, making sure that the baby Krishna is sleeping nicely. So she got up and then she became busy with this Utthana ceremony, receiving guests, worshipping them, offering the charity, those kind of things. At that time, Krishna woke up and he started crying, but she could not hear because she's busy with the household activities or the celebrating this Uttana ceremony. And at that time, Krishna, demanding to drink the milk of his mother's breast, angrily threw his legs upward. And Prabhupada mentions that course, we also see in the next slokas also, Krishna was placed underneath a household hand cart. And that hand cart is none other than this Sakatasura, this demon who took this form to with an intent to kill Krishna. So now Krishna, on the plea of our demanding to get the milk of his mother, so he took this opportunity to kill this demon. So he kicked or he threw his legs upward. So just with that touching of Krishna's leg to this hand caught, Sakatasura was killed. So, and Prabhupada mentions that all these wonderful pastimes um, are real, in fact, because they were all recorded. So, and Prabhupada mentions that only unintelligent persons or less intelligent persons, they will think that these pastimes are mythological. So they don't consider them as real facts. But Prabhupada mentions that so these are real facts and these are all recorded, and the devotees relish hearing these pastimes. So here how Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami are relishing either to narrate or to listen all these Krishna pastimes. So similarly, all the devotees, so when listening all these pastimes, they will relish it. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha, like that. So they will become jubilant. And in the next sloka, Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that here we see that Supreme Lord Krishna is underneath the hand cart in one corner of the courtyard, and although his little legs were soft, but when he struck the cart with legs, it turned over violently and collapsed. And not only that, all the wheels are separated and it all broke. And then on the cart there were many little utensils made of various metals, all of them scattered hither and thither. And Prabhupada quoting the mentioning the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti commentary, saying that Krishna's legs are very soft, yet simply by touching the cart, everything is broke. So and Krishna, Prabhupada mentioning that in other incarnations, like either Vaman Avatar or Lord Narasimha Dev, they have to come in a specific form, or he has to, Vaman Dev extend his foot to penetrate the this universe covering, so that the Mother Ganges entered into this. Like that, they have performed. But here, little Krishna, so he didn't perform all those things. So he just simply touched it, that cart, and that cart broke. So Prabhupada mentioning this pastime, saying that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So he is the Supreme Lord. He is exhibiting here unlimited potency, like that. And the next sloka. So when Mother Yashoda and other ladies, so they all heard this, and then they began to wonder how the ant cart had collapsed. So they were trying to find the reason. So how did it fall? But they were unable to do so. And in the next sloka, and the assembled cowherd men and ladies, they started to think how this happened. So they were thinking, is it the work of some demon or evil planet, like that? And at that time, there were some small children who saw this, and they told that Krishna kicked this, and due to that, it all got broke. So collapsed, and there was no doubt about it. Like that, they were telling. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that this Sakatasura is a ghostly demon. So generally the ghosts will not have the gross body, so they will enter into one of the gross things, like that. So here also this Sakatasura took the shelter of this hand cart, and Krishna just touched this hand cart and everything dismantled. And generally if it is an ordinary child, so when this cart is broken, they will fall down on that baby, and then baby will also get injured. But Krishna, because he is the Supreme Lord, nothing happened to him. In fact, he enjoyed this pastime, this killing of Sakatasura, like that. So in the next sloka, the gopis and gopas, so because they are unaware of Krishna's always is always unlimited, so has unlimited energy. Of course, these gopis and gopas are in Vatsalya rasa, so they don't consider Krishna as the supreme lord. So they did not believe that baby Krishna has such inconceivable power. So that's why they neglected these statements as being childish task. And in the next sloka, and they thought some bad planet had attacked Krishna. So what Mother Yashoda did is, so she picked up and gave the milk, and also she called the Brahmanas to chant Vedic hymns to perform an auspicious ritualistic ceremony. So Prabhupada mentions that whenever there is some danger, so obviously the Vedic custom is to invite the qualified Brahmanas and chant Vedic hymns to counteract that evil thing like that. So that's what Mother Yashoda also performed here, so that so any bad planet or evil things is negative energy is there, so that will be counteracted. So similarly, if we do our chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra in our house, then the positive energy will come and it will counteract any negative energy like that. So it's very beneficial even for us in this life to lead a safe and happy life for to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantras. If we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so all these negative things will go away. So then what they did is, so there are some strong cowherd men. So they assembled all these parts and paraphernalia on the hand cutter. Then the Brahmanas performed a ritualistic ceremony to appease the bad planet with rice grains, kusha water, and curd like that. So, and Prabhupada mentioned that in the purport that this hand cutter was loaded with heavy utensils, which we saw in the earlier also. So to put it back again, so it requires a great strength. So that's why the cowherdmen who are very strong, so they were requested to keep the hand cart back again as it is like that. And then in the next three slokas, this is a very wonderful sloka. Prabhupada also gave a very elaborated purport, saying that so when Brahmanas are free from envy, untruthfulness, unnecessary pride, grudge, disturbance by the opulence of others, and false prestige, those kind of Brahmanas, when they bless, those blessings will never go away. So Nanda Maharaj invited such truthful Brahmanas to perform a ritualistic ceremony. And then while all the Vedic hymns were chanted, so the child was bathed with pure herbs and performing a fire ceremony. Not only that, Nanda Maharaj sometimes fed all the Brahmanas with first class grains and other food. Prabhupada gave a very elaborate purport. So wonderful points are Prabhupada mentions that Nanda Maharaj knows the qualifications of the Brahmana and their blessings. So we see that the qualifications, so they should be free from envy, untruthfulness, unnecessary prides like that. So Prabhupada mentions that if the good Brahmanas shower their blessings, then child Krishna will be happy. So similarly, if we can also seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, so that we can also progress in the path of bhakti, and also we can lead the happy life in this life also like that. So Prabhupada mentions that in the current society, these kind of Brahmanas are not there, much Brahmanas are there. So that's why Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada established the society to train these kind of Brahmanas. So when these Brahmanas blesses the other society, like either Kshatriyas or Vaishyas and Sudras, so everyone will lead the good life like that. So Prabhupada stresses that so these varnas or ashramas were arranged by Krishna, created by Krishna, Chatur Varnam Maya system, not by simply by birth, Guna Karma Vibhagasha, based on the qualities and activities. So here Prabhupada also quotes the qualities of a Brahmana is like Satyam, truthfulness, Sama, peacefulness, Dama, self-control, and Titiksha, tolerance. So all these kind of things. So Nanda Maharaj invited here those kind of Brahmanas where they can bless, so that those blessings will not go in vain like that. So Prabhupada mentions that in ISKCON also there is a second initiation where they will be that's called Brahmana initiation. So those devotees who got the Brahmana initiation should keep this in mind and try to develop these qualities, the Brahmanical qualities. And similarly, Prabhupada also mentions that the host who invites Brahmanas should sometimes feed all the Brahmanas with first class grains and other food. And this will be produced by the Vaishya community. Krushi Goraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhava. So Prabhupada stresses the need for the cow protection and the producing the food grains. So those things. So in the next sloka, Nanda Maharaj, for the sake of the opulence of his own son Krishna, so gave the Brahmanas wonderful charity, like cows fully decorated with the garments, gold necklaces like that, and then in charity and accepted them and bestowed blessings upon the Brahmanas, accepted them and blessings upon the whole family, especially upon Krishna. And then in the last sloka for today, the Brahmanas who were completely expert in chanting Vedic hymns, they were all yogis fully equipped with mystic powers. So whatever blessing they spoke were certainly never fruitless. And Prabhupada mentions that these kind of qualified Brahmanas, they are actually always yogis fully powerful in mystic. So that's why their words will never go in vain like that. And Prabhupada mentions that since in Kali Yuga, so these powerful Brahmanas are very less, or not much. So that's why these even the yajnas are also forbidden, because these Brahmanas who were able to chant the Vedic hymns perfectly, so not available. So those yajnas are also forbidden. But the fire sacrifices. But what is the yajna that is recommended for Kali Yuga is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sankirtana yajna. So in the Bhagavatam it is said, Yagnai Sankirtane Prayar Ejanti Hi Sumedasa. So if one is intelligent, so they will take up this process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And for what purpose? To please Vishnu or Krishna. Because samsiddhir haritoshanam. So whatever the activities that we do should satisfy Krishna. Otherwise what happens is, if we perform activities for our own sense gratification, karma bandha. So yajnardat karmana anyatra lokayam karma bandha. So otherwise it will bind us in this material world, and it will push us through the janma mrityu jara vyadhi and so many problems. So in this new year we will take this opportunity and see how we can progress in the path of bhakti, and seek the blessings of the Vaishnavas, so that we can continue to perform this process of Krishna consciousness. So thank you all. I will pause it here. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very, very good class. Thank you, all devotees, for joining the class today.